Devils fall to the Bruins 3-0. And I think this game, look, I think the Bruins kind of owned them this game. I think the only reason why the Devils had remotely any chance to stay in it was because of Nico Dawes, who, and I'll make a separate video on this later on, but like he's kind of proven like, hey, he might be the starter right now, right? Like he might be goalie number one on the depth. I think it's good. I think it goes right now like Dawes, Vitek, and Schmid in terms of just like who our goaltending depth chart is, and just the way that he's played. Again, I'll get into it in a different video, but just I can't say enough about just the way that he's played and the way that he's seeing the puck, tracking the puck, staying patient, giving the Devils the saves that, not just the saves, like the timely saves and the consistent saves, but just the really like the gotta have it ones, right? When the Devils are consecutive penalty kills or like last minute of the period, he comes up with these huge stops and odd man rushes, and he's been playing insanely well. Very, very happy to see him, have that success that he has. Just incredible saves. I mean, today he had that save on, against the Bruins against Pavel Zacha, right in the slot area, just no one guarding him, and makes huge save there. Again, he's seeing the puck really well, and that's important. To get in that rhythm. And you can tell he's in this rhythm as a goalie. He just has this rhythm. His anticipation is there. It just seems like the reads he's making is just on point. And, as a goalie, when you have, whenever you have that rhythm and it seems like the situations that you're anticipating end up actually being, the case, it just makes the game seem slower, right? And it just seems like to me watching him that the game at times looks slower, or at least he's really matching the pace of play. And granted, like it's not like he's making, getting shutouts every game, and he'll let up a couple goals here and there that you kind of think he would want back, but definitely not at the same rate as, maybe Vitek and Schmidt are. And, it's just, he's a rookie and he's barely gotten a substantial amount of, NHL time. So, just for the time that he's had, especially coming off of that surgery on his hip, it's really impressive to watch him play. But in this game, I thought Boston did a really good job of like clogging up that middle, and they really didn't give the Devils any chances for a lot of odd man rushes, right? The speed that the Devils normally play with. Granted, I think a big caveat for me in this game is the fact that the Devils' top guys are just depleted, right? No Hamilton, no Palat, no Hughes, no Meyer. Brendan Smith went down. I'm probably missing someone here. It's just, like they're a banged up hockey team, right? And that's something that I think, I keep in mind in terms of like judging whether or not that, we're in trouble or not. I just think that if we had a healthy squad, I would say that this game would have been, maybe we would have gotten a couple goals here and there, I think the amount of high quality scoring chances the Bruins got compared to the Devils, it was definitely far beyond, like the gap was huge there. But again, Dawes kept them in it. Dawes kept the Devils in this so much. I did like the play of Eric Haula. I think there's probably some, internal motivation there where, former team and everything, but he made some really good plays, really good shot attempts, chances there, and also back checking. I thought he did a good job of just contributing to the back check, but overall, I think that Devils just didn't generate anything, right? And also with Brendan Smith going down, it forced a lot of the young defensemen. I think Shimon Nemec and Luke Hughes saw important minutes. You throw in Siegenthaler in terms of injuries, another guy on the on our end that is hurt. Like, it's forcing a lot of these younger players who, normally, if the club's 100% healthy, they're seeing, maybe a third of the ice time that they're currently seeing now. And that's what also contributes to the development of these young players, is like, you can't just, they are being thrown into the fire at this point, but like normally when you're a young defenseman, young offenseman, or young player, it's just like, you'll get your little tastes of ice time and taste of the NHL and gradual kind of spurts there. But at this point, right, it's just next man up. And I think that's tough. That's a tough thing for rookies and young players to kind of be thrown into. But I think for the most part, right, like the score was, again, in huge part to Dawes. It was close, but also like, hey, like it's close, regardless of whether it's Dawes or anybody else. Like the game is close, and you're against the Bruins, who whenever you're in a close game against a team like the Bruins, that's something that you got to be proud of. And again, there's no moral victories here. It's not like and no one's patting themselves on the back for being close. But I just think that it's something positive to look at in terms of where we are as a team. Like I think a lot of Devils fans maybe want to pull the panic buttons. Let's get the team healthy and then judge the team based on that, point of view. But again, just in this game, I thought overall it was a good effort. A lot of injuries affected the way, we were able to generate anything. But I just thought that maybe the guys that are there, the Hollas, Heishiers and Holtz and Bastions and like a lot of these young guys, like this is their chance to step up. I mean, Heischer's not young, but I'm talking about the other young guys there. Like, outside of those veterans and even the veterans too, right? Like this is a chance to kind of prove like, hey, like lead by example a little bit, right? And Jesper Bratt and like Lazar, like these players who are staples in the Devils lineup, like I think there's just a little bit of, hey, they need to kind of step up a little bit more and be a little bit more of a factor in these games and Mikey McLeod's. But like overall, it's the Bruins too, right? That's another thing you take into account and factor in. Like the Bruins, even if the Devils were completely healthy, right, they would have done, I think, a good job of stopping a lot of the high quality scoring chances. So all the more when we've got such a banged up team and a lot of rookies and young guys on our squad playing, it's gonna be tough for us to generate a lot. But I thought there wasn't a whole lot generated there, and the silver lining, if you want to get anything out of this one, is just Dawes might have solved temporarily, or knock on wood, right? But might have solved our goaltending problem temporarily here, right? Because he's in the games that he's been playing, I thought he's been playing lights out, just incredible play by Nico Dawes, and I kind of would want to see him a little bit get more of the important games here in the upcoming stretch, and see what see how he handles that, see how he handles the pressure in the game, and look like he's playing against the Bruins, and what I loved about him, he's getting this opportunity. What I loved is that he's got that swagger, he's got that little bit of like, if you look at the post game, he's like, yeah, I could have played better. I probably should have made those stops. It's like it's cool to see, right? It's like Marty had that, right? Especially when Marty was young, it was like you look at his post game pressers and like he was, he wasn't phased by just playing against the best teams. He wasn't phased by playing against the Detroits and the the Dallas Stars and the Rangers or whoever, like the top teams at that back in the day. Like he was willing to kind of take on the best, and to get that like confidence from Nico is pretty cool, and we'll see how he does and the kind of games he gets to play in moving forward. But I definitely think that in the I don't know how many, like 6 starts he's had, he's definitely earned, in my opinion, the right to be the one to go to for the important games, especially if it's a back-to-back. And I think Nico should get the start for a lot of these big games coming up for sure. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully also in the coming weeks that we get a lot of the main guys back from injury, and we'll see how they perform. But for now, again, I thought, I don't know, solid effort, I guess, given the injuries, but you definitely would like to see a little bit more, at least a couple goals here and there, and just get them to execute on these plays, because a lot of times they did have a handful of really good chances, but not really enough to generate anything substantial. So we'll see what the Devils do moving forward. They got the Canadians moving next, who just had a big win against the Avalanche. So we'll see how they do there. Hopefully they come out strong, and it's at home, so they come out with a big game at home and get the jump on them quick. So we'll see. Devils fall to the Bruins.